It's the flip man. Flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
And we're live for show number 132. It's Ty, aka the Flip Man. I have both ladies with us tonight, Renikia and Adria. A little late, but that's cool. We're gonna get it in. So I guess we'll try the hotline again tonight. Put the phone number here, and I'll go ahead and activate it. So Adria can do her thing. So over to you.
All right, guys. Apologize for the delays in tonight's show, but we are here per usual. This is where you ask your questions, we answer the questions, and you get started in your wholesaling journey. Again, that number on the screen for those on Instagram, I will read it, 205-386-0035. Again, it's 205-386-0035. We will, as last week, try the idea of taking live calls. So go ahead and get those calls started. Renikia, what's up?
Hello. How are you today?
I'm well. Hey. Yeah.
One of the weeks. It's like cold as I don't know what in Atlanta. So it's just weird. It's been a weird week.
What this is, and it's already March. Like,
right.
People say it's March. It is March. Like, oh my gosh.
I feel like a blizzard.
It's going way too fast. Ty, anything? How was your trip? Looked like you had a good time.
Oh yeah, it was very productive. Very productive.
Okay. Productive. All right, guys. So hello, Immunology, Kilgore, Trove 214, D'Amica, Eric. Hey. Let's see here. Pistol Pete, thank you for waiting so patiently. T5YLL4. Let's see here. Hey, dear. El Hodge. He's in here, y'all. Let's see here. Dexter. And let's see. R. Murphy Jr. Hey, Joe and Isaiah. Thank you for joining us. And let me log into Instagram. And we'll go ahead and get started. Let's see here. Thank you for calling us tonight. Go ahead and tell us your name, where you're calling from, and what is your question?
Hi, my name is Juan. I'm calling from Houston. And my question is, I have a seller that is currently under contract, but doesn't want to go through with that contract anymore. So she reached out to me because she wants to do away with that and she wants to work with me. How do I come about that if the property is under contract and it has a cloud on it?
Okay, so you have a contract already with the seller, and she wants to break the contract?
No. She wants to break the contract with someone else. She reached out to me. She wanted.
There you go.
But there's a cloud on the property. Like they put like a memorandum. They filled out like a memorandum, so they can't sell it to anybody else. I believe the contract expires March the 2nd.
Okay. I guess that. Well, I guess it. I don't know if it expires with the contract.
Well, let me give you a little bit more detail.
Okay.
Let me give you a little bit more detail. It's a divorce. They're going through a divorce, and they only have one signature, but they don't have the other signature.
Well,
so I don't
the
know
one
if that contract is even valid.
Tell them the one signature is not a big issue on the purchase and sales agreement. Is that when they actually get ready to close, you got to have both signatures. That's your real issue or whatever. But it doesn't sound like you're in the deal anyway. That's somebody else's deal, and they put I guess you say a cloud on the title. That has to be answered. Right. If they're not giving those individuals an opportunity to close on it, anything can be negotiated, but that's going to make things sticky because they haven't. It could easily end up in court if they wanted to take it that far. Let me just say that. So,
okay, right. Thank you for that call from Houston. Renika, did you have anything on that? So there's a seller who already has a contract in place with another wholesaler. It expires on the 2nd. They put everything in place to cloud the title. But once that expires, is it fair game? Does the memorandum expire at the same time the contract does?
That's a sticky situation. You know, I mean, one thing for sure, a seller can back out the contract. They will just get the earnest money back. So, I mean, I would recommend for the seller to just back out or cancel the contract. But most importantly, it seems like the seller needs her husband or his wife to sign at the closing table as well. And if that person is not willing to sign, is the contract really valid?
All right. Let's see here. Let's just go ahead and take a question from the webs. Let's see here. I think
they threw you a curveball, huh?
They throw me a curveball because let's see. I think did we start too late? I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Isaiah, let's see here. You can, but you are at the mercy. Nope, they just started talking to themselves. Let's see here. Okay, so guys, I can't answer this question. Okay, what's the video for the seller's call script? There's a video for that?
Well, it's an oldie, but it's still effective. Just look up top 10 questions to ask motivated sellers and put Flipman behind it. You should be able to find that one.
Cool. Hey, Robert Jones, thanks for joining us. Eric Carney, my movie quote guru, wants to know, should he start with Dealulator or List Source / Melissa to find sellers when you have a beginning budget of $400? Bless you.
Oh, thank you. Well, if you just purchased a list, then I guess the next thing is what are you going to do with the list? With only $400, because direct mail is definitely not an option, or whatever. So, with that budget, I would probably, well, a couple of things. There's several things to do, but with that small of a budget, I would try to get a little more. You could do bandit signs, so that wouldn't affect whether you did list source. Well, definitely not list source, because it's just all it does is provide lists. Whereas with the Dealulator, you could at least research properties, but that's still not a lot of money or whatever, because it can get ate up in the next 4 months. But hopefully you'll be and done a deal in that time frame too. So with that being said, I would probably I had this reiterated from some other people in the business or whatever. I always say this, but it makes more sense when you hear somebody else say it and they put a little different twist on it. You're going to already probably, I'm assuming, drive for dollars, but really hone in on landlords, right? Properties that are obviously for rent, because you could go about it two ways. It's the third day I didn't say it this in a row. You can call them, see if it's available. They say yes or no, and you just let them know, hey, I'm not calling about renting the property. I would like to buy it. If they want to sell it, and even if it's a price that doesn't work for you, you could possibly transition that particular landlord into an owner financing situation, because they're accustomed to cash flow. That's the whole reason they get into the rental business, is for the rental income and the cash flow that it can produce. But transition it over to a creative financing opportunity or whatever for you that either you could keep or wholesale out. The terms is that now you're taking the landlord out of it for him, because you're giving whoever takes possession ownership of the property. And so that may be an option. So I would really hone in on those. And what I mean by that is offline, just look for the generic red and white signs that say for rent, or black and white signs that say for rent. Normally, that's the actual owner of the property. Sometimes it may be a property management company or a real estate agent handling the property for them, but normally that's the owner. And then online, if you search Zillow and Craigslist sites like that, or Facebook Marketplace, sometimes it's hard to figure out if you're going to be calling and speaking to the actual owner. A lot of times they will have a company name on the listing, especially on Zillow. You have to understand that they put agents' advertisements in the first part of the listing to make you think that that's them or whatever. So you have to always look near the bottom that says listed by or whatever. And that's normally going to be, who actually posted that. So you got anything you want to share on that? He only has $400.
I mean, I concur with that, actually. I mean, on top of that, I would say maybe just put some gas in your car. You have like areas like Atlanta, there's certain hoods that has a lot of vacant properties in it. So you just put some gas in your car and you just drive for dollars and try to write down as many addresses that looked vacant that you can send. You can write a letter, get a piece of paper and write them a letter, and to see if their property is for sale outside of everything that's happening.
All right. Eric, hopefully that answered your question there. Becky Doors, we just answered that question that there was a video. He just didn't end it off right hand. No.
Okay, well, there it is.
No one's calling. We're back to the old school way. Guys, keep in mind that you can still call in.
And number back up there.
Yeah, no, but leave that because that answers my next question. And that
I'm sorry. I go back.
Yes. Okay, so the next question, and Renikia, this will be specifically for you. Gosh, where did it go? From Pistol Pete. Does how do you spell that? Does anybody have Renika's funding website? So Pistol Pete is on the screen there. Thank you for asking. I do like your logo and your sub whatever circle thing that is. Yeah, it's Pistol Pete, but it's 2 P's.
Oh wow, that is kind of
good, don't it?
It is.
I see.
But
that is. It looks like a pistol and it's a P.
Don't see the 2 P's?
I see it.
Yeah, and it's Pistol Pete. Cute little logo. Yes. Okay. But it's on the screen and it's fundmynextdeal.com. And you can visit there or you can reach out to Miss Renikia across all social media platforms. Someone else in here was asking, and it was at the very beginning before we even started, I was reading through, but they were asking how to go about buying and holding property and where would they get that funding information. So, and it was from Carrie Nottingham. How can you buy and hold a property you have under contract with zero money down? So I answer the zero part, but Renika can probably give you a little foresight on what you can do if buying and holding is what you want to do.
Well, for sure, the no money down method is strictly wholesaling. However, you can somewhat no money down, maybe some other things, but that's another conversation. But for buying holds, we have a true 30-year fix. You want to go to fundmynextdeal.com. We have a true 30-year fix, just like a mortgage. We don't require tax returns, bank statements, income verification, nor pay stubs. We were able to wrap that property with a true 30-year fix. We can go up to about 75 to 80% of the value. So if you get it less than market value, you can possibly walk right into it without a down payment. If not, then you have that 20 to 25% down that you will have to put down in order to do a true 30-year. It's a true 30-year, and you put your tenant in there and collect cash flow.
All right, there you have it. So on the screen again, fundmynextdeal.com, Facebook, Renikia Williams, Instagram, Renique, and you can always email funding@fkfinancials.com. And of course, we'll put that back on the screen before we end tonight. Now, what's on your screen now is the one-page contract that is free. One more time for you, free. For you, Ty has been using it since he started his wholesaling career. You can either text the word contract to that number for Instagram, it's 313131, or you can simply go to dealyalater.com. Now, someone had a comment that asked, do you fill this out online or do you print it out? Either or. It's simply...
well, in reality, you can really only just fill it out. And if you go into flipman.net, you could probably get it. But it's not that version of it where I changed some things that made it, where you don't have to
You can play
do the admit and all that stuff, but people say they want to put it in their hands, so I think I resolved that issue. You can still fill out all the information except the pricing. That's the only thing that would change, right? So now you can write that information in. You can leave that blank, print it out, and when you get on site, if you want to put it in someone's hands, you can literally write that in if you want. I tried to make it look professional for everyone, where you can just print out, but whatever. So just to answer the question.
It's still available. DoYouLater.com.
Yeah.
Or you can text it. And that was for New Boy Live, who wanted to know, do you have to type your information in the one-page contract on the computer, or do you write it in? Ooh, look at here. We got a call. All right. The hotline, first of all. All right. Thank you for calling the Flippinar tonight. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Aurora, Colorado.
And what's your name?
My name is Victor. How you doing tonight?
I'm well, Victor. Thanks for calling. What's your question?
So, when dealing or looking at pre-foreclosures with high equity, what has been anyone's best approach when it comes to contacting those owners? Do mailers tend to work better? Calling, what have you had the best responses from?
Well, from my trip, from my trip of going to Phoenix this week, I'm convinced door knocking is the best option with pre-foreclosures.
Absolutely.
You get a gator like that?
Yes, that's the best option.
Victor, okay, well, hopefully that
I'm totally convinced on that door knocking.
I'm convinced too, 1000%.
Okay.
But when you knock on the door, you have to be.
Are you wearing a suit? I mean, are there specifics?
Well, there are a lot of ways to go about it.
People tend to be a little stressed out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there are a lot of ways to go about it. The guy that Pace Morby, one of the guys I went out and visited with, the way they do it is he send inexperienced people out there. And all he wants, he send them, they go to the door, and in a nutshell, I don't think I'm saying it exactly right. When the person answers the door, they're like, hey, this is a brand new job for me. My job is to simply find out, would you be interested in selling your house? And if so, I can make an appointment for one of our buyer acquisition managers to call you, blah, blah, blah. And they try to get them on the phone,
I like that.
They try to get them on the phone right
now. So because they're so nervous and scared because they're new, and it kind of takes attention off of the.
Yeah, I like that.
They're like, I ain't even physically cut you out.
Yeah.
So you just trying to do.
I like that.
Who sent you to my door? Is my next question. Who sent you?
Well, let me get you on. Hey, they'll be glad to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Let me get them on the phone. They'll be glad to talk to you. That's their approach.
Oh, and I guess that's.
I like that.
Okay.
So
thank you, Victor.
Thank you. Guys are great.
Okay.
I might didn't say that exactly right, but you get the gist of.
I get the gist of it because I'm saying
I like it.
My response would be, "Who sent you? Oh, it wasn't you. Put them on the phone. Let me talk to them. How dare you? The audacity of you somebody to my front doorstep." Okay. So,
Well, I want to add to that, Victor, if you're still watching, just be mindful that just have sympathy. Although you want to come out of there with a contract, have sympathy for the situation and sympathy, and make it seem like you're there to help them, which you are, but make it seem like you're there to help them, because a lot of people go through a lot. They're stressed. They're going through a lot during that time. So just, make sure you have sympathy in your conversation as well.
All right. Going back to the hotline.
We back hard again.
Back hot. Hey, thank you for calling in tonight. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what is your question?
JB from Peoria, Illinois.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, to be a wholesaler, or if you're doing a deal, can you do that without an LLC?
Good question. I'll let them answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So wholesaling, we get asked this a lot, and the answer is pretty consistent, but it is still a good one. brand new, beginning to wholesale, that LLC. How important is it? When do we get it? All of that.
Absolutely. You can wholesale without an LLC. Use what you have. If you can't afford your LLC right now, that's totally fine. Just do it in your name, and then invest back in yourself as you make more money into your LLC. Or you can always just do a sole proprietor. It's not an LLC, but you at least have an EIN number, and then that's free at irs.gov. So.
All right, there you have it. So basically, all based on your funding. That's going to be the determining factor when you get that.
Yeah, I mean, use what you have. If you can't afford it, hey, it is what it is. I would say if it comes down to marketing and getting an LLC, I will market, because marketing will bring opportunity for money that can pay for the LLC.
Okay. Thank you for that. Still, let's see here. This is from Science of Peace. Is the closing detail sheet still available? I text close to the number listed in one of the YouTube videos, but no response. So
yeah, what happened was the text company that I was using, which is just devastating when you put a number out there, they had a disagreement with the service where they were getting the numbers from, and so those numbers don't exist no more.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so whatever. So anyway, so to get it, just text me or DM me on Instagram, and I'll send you access to it. Or you can just go to freeclosingdoc.com, freeclosingdoc.com, and you can get it.
Forgot about that one, huh?
Forgot about
that one. Good evening, and thank you for calling in to the Flip Show with Ty, Renikia, and myself, Adria. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your question?
All right, my name is Mark Trewick. I'm calling from the Washington, D.C. area. And I've been wholesaling since 2006. And my question is regarding branding myself, having a presence on Instagram, YouTube, and other social media. What would be the best way to get started, or is there someone that has that expertise that I can pay them to get me started?
Well, yes and no. Are you familiar with those platforms? Using them right now?
Very on the amateur level.
Okay. Well, it's not brain surgery or whatever. Then there's tons of videos out there on how to use it. But I'm assuming you have day-to-day activities, whatever you're doing with wholesaling, as far as intake of calls, talking to sellers, talking to buyers, dealing with title companies or closing attorneys, either or, and going to look at properties, all of that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I live, eat, and breathe that.
Okay. Well, just start photoing and videoing those activities. That's content. Yes. That's exactly what you want to do.
No. I'm just saying photoing. You just made that one up.
Well, I didn't know that was a word. That sounded
love it. Photoing. Videoing.
And so that's just what you naturally do. And I don't do enough of it or whatever. I really don't think people have interest in what I got to say a lot of times. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, that's it. Your everyday activities is your content, because it has value. If you've been doing it since 2006, I'm assuming you're making a living at it. People want to know that. You will grow exponentially really quick just by doing that every day.
I think what people forget. Thank you for calling. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect, but thank you.
Well, thank you. I've been watching your videos for years, but it's my first time talking to you. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem at all, man. Sound like you getting it. You know what I'm saying? You've been getting it before I've started putting out videos. So that's what's up. And then you're in DC too.
Right.
Those some big checks up there, right?
Yeah, this is a real hot market, man. It never even went down during the crash.
Well, yeah. What's your average? What's your average assignment fee?
In DC, it's normally 20 grand to 40 grand.
Hey, friend.
Wow.
My new
Yeah.
Wow.
I would
Yeah,
yeah. If you're
serious over here.
Yeah. I'm supposed to well, that's not near there. Supposed to be going to well, close to Philadelphia in the next couple of weeks or whatever. That's not close. I was just about to say I'll hit, but text me. Just you got my number, man.
No, I need to take it. I'll take it right now.
205.
You want to text me?
Yeah, 205. Yeah, 205-492-3425.
You got
All
that?
right, I got it, man.
All right.
man.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
I'll take it.
All right.
Well, what I was going to say is you were speaking about you posting the content, but what I think people forget that use social media for social instead of the business aspect of when you begin branching out and trying to use it for branding and using for your business, there's a serious algorithm that goes into how that works and how your information, how your feeds, how your content is distributed out to other people. It's crazy. Like you really have to start piggybacking off of other people doing the same thing that you're doing, and then not necessarily stealing their subscribers, but you have to. I was reading this whole thing about it, like comment, like hey, I love that, I like what you're doing, great on like as many. It's all a part of the algorithm on how your content gets pushed to your reach, your target audience. So there's a thought process behind it. So it's more than it most definitely has to do with making sure you're posting something consistently. Because if you're not, then you get
I think the algorithm is like at 4%. It's like you only 4%, about 4% of your. This is Instagram. I'm not for sure about Facebook. 4% of your audience is really seeing your posts.
Yeah, it's low. It's low. For most, you know what I'm saying? It's low.
And I think one way around it, I'm not a big marketer, I got to get on it. But one way around it, where I see a lot of other people who have taken off, they just do the paid influencers too. Just pay the influencers to post. So you got to put some money sometimes if you don't want to just bang it out manually. Put some money behind it and have influencers and people like that to repost you.
Yeah.
Eugene.
Who?
Eugene. Eugene said you coming to Harrisburg. You going to Harrisburg?
Yeah, post.
How Eugene know? I didn't even know.
I just said it.
Who you, Harpo? Who this woman? Who this man?
Who this?
Who this? Oh, okay. So continue to post your questions. Someone just asked on Instagram what that number was. It's 205-386-0035. The hotline is wide open. Me Mays has a question from the other side. I know we were just talking about targeting landlords, but Me Mays says, do you have any tips to becoming a landlord? I don't have a lot of cash available, but I'm interested in adding anything to my portfolio. Also, should I be concerned with the pending housing crash? Negativity, get thee away.
No.
Okay, so in regards to landlord
coming to landlord is just, you got to be a little cash heavy. As I was speaking earlier, we do have a true rental loan, which is a true 30-year note with no balloon payment. It's just like going straight to the bank and getting a 30-year mortgage, but it's a private note. So it's really just being able to find these properties. Like I was telling the gentleman earlier, that we can lend up to 75 to 80% of the asset's value. So if you get a property below the value, you can almost walk right into it without a down payment. But that's probably one of the best ways to begin to build a portfolio of your own, is to go out there and find properties, turnkey properties, or properties that you can fix and flip and just refinance into a 30-year loan term for cash flow. It's really simple.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I'm just sometimes, well, it's not sometimes, I'm just as, I'm learning just as you guys are. She spoke about becoming a landlord. When we talk about owner financing and holding the terms, and that difference there, is that semi the same? Is that a way you could do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Most definitely.
Becoming a landlord of sorts.
That's one of the better ways.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you'll have little to no money invested and no credit or anything tied up. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Renikia,
Only thing about owner financing is it's just a lot less of them on the market.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to just be able to take advantage of, you know, different options. But owner finance is always a great option. Absolutely.
Now, Renikia, for you as well, Private Life wanted to know what's a couple of examples to leverage great credit to get into this real estate game and start building wealth. I'm not particularly sure if they missed it, but just examples on how to do so.
Okay, so really just kind of depending on where you are, leveraging your credit in multiple ways. We have gap funding, term loans, lines of credit. We also have fix and flip loans, buying hold. Buying holds, we can lend up to 90% of your purchase, always 100% of rehab. All you're bringing to the table is 10%. We can help you fund that 10% by using our gap funding method, where you're able to receive up to $150,000 unsecured credit. So you're able to kind of tap into or leverage your credit so you can fund the gap. But it's just multiple ways. You go to fundmynextdeal.com, you'll see all of the different creative options to be able to fund your deal.
I get the video out next.
All right. So Private, I hope you caught that. And again, fundmynextdeal.com. Okay. Still no calls, but going to stick with questions here. And Eugene said, I know I went crazy, Eugene. You technically never said Harrisburg. You just said Philly. He said that.
I just looked it up. It's really not close. It's over 100 miles away. So
I know he never said. He just said, I think you're coming to Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Like, I just said it. And I was like, no, you did.
Well,
I
yeah.
wasn't saying nothing. But I'm still trying to figure out who Eugene is, Hoppo. Who Eugene is. Okay, so let's see here. Next question is just getting started. I lost a wholesale deal because I could not show proof of funds. How do you get around this? And this is from Immunology Kilgore.
Proof of funds to who? But
Agent.
Yeah, it had to be.
Knowing who you're dealing with is for that, right?
Yeah. But one or two things happened. Either you had to have approval of funds for a real estate agent or probably a seasoned investor. So one of the two things, right? And normally I personally don't recommend newbies starting out that way, dealing with individuals that need proof of funds or whatever, whether it's a real estate agent and normally it's not a deal. Normally, you can always negotiate something into a deal, but it's just too many more moving parts besides just dealing with just regular Joe Blow that owns a house and he wants to sell it because he's going through a divorce or something. So,
Okay. Everyday Hustle wants to know, does a single-sided HUD hide my fee from the seller?
Yeah.
It does.
Single-sided?
It's only, just blind HUD as they call it, whereas they only show the seller their part of the HUD and the buyer sees only their side of it. I've never participated in it.
I've never seen that.
But I've heard people say they've had attorneys or club title company that'll do that for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right, we have another call. Thank you for calling in tonight. You have Renikia, Ty, and myself here. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and what's your question?
My name is Darren. I'm from Pasadena, California. And I want to know, recently, a while back, I listened to some of the videos that he was saying formula he had for repair costs, on property, just kind of estimate your repair. What was that formula?
All right,
Square foot.
It was $25 a square foot for livable properties that you deem, hey, somebody could actually live here, clean up or whatever, and then $40 a square foot for non-livable. Now, that's not set in stone. It's just something to go by because once you start to get in higher end properties, $40 may not be enough, livable or whatever. And then on the lower end, It's still 25 may be too much, but generally speaking, you can roll with those two numbers to give you a ballpark as far as repairs times the square footage. 25 for livable, 40 for non-livable.
All right, Darren, did that get you squared away?
That's great. Thanks a lot.
No worries. Thank you for calling. All right. Someone was calling and I missed that. But let's see here. In Virginia, Southgate Realty says, I'm starting to see bandit signs in the rural areas. I believe it's money just about everywhere. So, thoughts?
Rural in the sense of what? Like, because you can get outside of Birmingham and technically you're still in Metro Birmingham. Same thing with Atlanta. You technically are still, you know what I'm saying? You still are in Atlanta, So what do you mean? Like the next city is 2 hours away, rural? Okay, yeah, that's different. You know what I'm saying? So, so if you could explain that a little more. But I'm sure, yes, people put them out, hey, somebody gonna call at some
people live everywhere.
Yeah, somebody gonna call at some point. And I'm totally with you now, or whatever. So it just may not get the activity. Someone that lives in a city with several million people or several 100,000 people or whatever. But yeah.
All right, going right back into the hotline. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and what is your question?
Well, this is Lucy, and I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hey.
What's happening?
How are you doing tonight?
Hello.
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
We're good. Good. What's your question?
I just wanted to make more of a statement because you guys are so great, and I've learned so much. And the last time I even put a question on your board, and I think I talked to Ms. Renikia like 2 weeks ago about my first deal, was the apartment deal. Thanks to Mr. Ty Taylor, a.k.a. the Flip Man. Thank you. But anyway.
You close it?
I just wanted to say thank you guys for all the information you put out there. And as soon as I flip this next apartment deal, I'm going to do your show.
Wait a minute. You said you flipped the first one?
Yeah, I flipped the first one.
How much you make?
I wrote you guys a message saying I made $14,000.
Oh.
I was
wow.
24,000, but the seller got mad because he seen my fee of 24,000, and I
that one.
Come back to let the deal even slide to the table.
You wanna share your story with everyone on the interview?
Yeah, I will do it after this next deal. I'm working on a 60 unit right now, and once I get that deal under the table, I will definitely do your show just because you guys inspired me just to do it. It took me like 3 months just to get that first deal in the bag. So I just wanted to know that nobody else was in there.
Is there this might be a dumb question, but I don't know. Is there an airport in Harrisburg?
Yep.
Okay, so someone will fly, they fly directly, and they won't have to fly to Philadelphia. They will fly directly there.
You can definitely fly directly to Harrisburg. Yep.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay.
About an hour and a half from Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's what I just looked up. Is 106 miles, quote unquote, equals.
Yeah. Oh wow! Congratulations, Queen.
Well, congratulations. Love to hear success stories. Thank you so much for calling in. I think Hawaiian Boy.
Well,
from,
before you go, she didn't left.
No, she ain't gone. She right here.
Now, I would love we would love to hear the first story or the first deal, but I ain't pressuring you or nothing. That's rare that I get people wanting to share their stories about apartments, so whatever you want to do.
You got the number. It's all over the internet.
I'm going to call you because I have to make some free time at work. But as soon as I get at my desk, maybe Monday or Tuesday next week, I'm going to give you a call. That way I can have a plane clear.
Oh, that's right. She said she's on her 15, y'all. Y'all asked how to make this work on the 9 to 5 or the 12 to 8 or the 10 to 10 or whatever.
Wow.
Right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Work right
Apartment complexes too.
Yeah.
I'm at work every day, but I get Gator like y'all be talking about, get Gator. I be doing all my wholesaling, investing, all my printing, and all my extra stuff while I'm working.
Okay. Yes. Yes. We taking control
We got
of our future.
Shout out to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We'll talk to you
Yes.
later. Put them folks.
Take control. Yes.
Stop using the pen.
Yes.
I'm talking about you using them folks stuff. No.
Yes, I'm telling you. Get Gator. Take control of your future. That's what it's about. Take control.
All right. Don't keep making money for somebody else. Stop
Yeah.
making money for yourself. I love it. Okay, so Hawaiian Boy wants to know, does Delia later work on the Big Island?
Oh, Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell, I don't know.
All right.
Go check it out.
I guess I can look it up right now. Hold on a second. Tell them to name something like a county. How is it separated?
Tell us like a municipality.
Yeah, give me a
county,
zip code.
city.
You got Honolulu.
I can look up a zip code right now. Hawaii zip code.
Honolulu, that's me.
While you're looking that up, I'm gonna go ahead and take the hotline.
I heard there's a lot of good activity out there in Hawaii too.
I can imagine it is.
All right, thank you for calling in. You are live. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and what's your question.
Oh yeah, we pulling up properly.
Hello, how you doing? My name is David Thompson. I'm calling from Orlando, Florida.
Hi, David. You need to do voiceovers.
Yes.
Yes, you did. David Thompson.
That's right. Thank you very much. I just had a question about ARV. I've been doing a lot of deals since my first deal I was on the show with Flippinar, and I've been doing quite a bit of deals here in Orlando. But one thing I've noticed is that the wholesalers here are paying a lot more as far as the ARV, trying to actually do the formula, only 75%, then you do less repairs. But people are paying actually 82, 83%. I just wanted to find out, is there a way, in certain markets to find out exactly what other wholesalers are paying and if it's actually feasible to actually go above that mark just to get a contract?
Well, that's going to depend on what your buyers are willing to pay at the end of the day. Unless you just are networking with a lot of different individuals, it's really going to be hard to find out, what's acceptable, I guess is the best way to say it. So that doesn't sound, in a market like Orlando, seem like it's going to always been turning over just because of the attractiveness of it. It's Florida, it's a destination point, blah, blah, blah. So I could see, 80% is the number, like in parts of California. So, but like I say, you really won't know. You could probably just base it, if you're doing a lot of activity yourself, on what your buyers are willing to pay, because they buying the same stuff from other people too. So.
Yeah, the actual problem is that the buyers are willing to pay, but they wholesale as well, and so they get under contract for the 80%, and they realize the numbers won't work, and so now they're rejecting a lot of the contracts, and so when I try to put my contract to 75%, and maybe 79%, that's the highest I've went, then they're kind of hesitant because they deal with other people. So it's just a rough thing. I just try to figure out if there's a certain way to find out in the market to find out exactly how I can actually go about put the contract, numbers on the contract.
Well, we do know this work. At the end of the day, if you get it cheap enough, they'll buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get it, if you can wholesale to them at with all in repairs and everything at 65%, they beg you not to show it to anyone else or whatever. So. But that's sort of hard to just figure out, overall what you're asking.
And I would say this, don't try to overprice yourself so high where no one wants it. So you still end up not being able to move your deal. So sometimes, hey, I'll just give them a sweet deal and keep it moving sometimes, unless you really know your buyer. If you know your end buyer, you kind of know exactly where they are and what they're willing to buy. But if you don't know your buyer, it's maybe best to just put it out there competitive, a little bit cheaper than the market, so you know you can move your properties too.
Volume.
Yeah, volume.
All right, Mr. Thompson, hopefully that answers your question. And also, in addition to wholesaling, really think about doing the voiceover things. You got the voice, man. All right, thanks for calling.
All right, folks. Thank you.
Okay, so Hawaii pulled up.
Oh yeah.
All right, Hawaii boy, there you go. From the 808.
Oh yeah. 5-day free trial, man.
5-day free trial. Go ahead and pull up Deal You Later.
Mm-hmm.
You have it on the screen. So let's talk about Eric Mitchell, who has a possible deal in Jacksonville, Florida. The ARV is 112. And I'll let you get that up there. And what we're doing, guys, is we're going to dealyoulater.com, where there is a deal calculator that you can plug and chug your numbers to see if, in fact, you do have a deal. The ARV is 112,000. The rehab ranges from 25 to 30, so we'll take the high end of 30. And Eric offered 32 to the seller. The property is currently in probate, and he wanted to know, how does he go about handling this? So at those numbers, if he could secure it at 32, do we have a deal?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the question of how do you handle this? I'm not sure where you are with this, Mitchell. Have you reached out? Well, how do you handle probate deals? I guess is what he's asking.
Well,
Yeah.
I made the offer.
Depending on what stage of it is it ready to go? Is that what he means? It's ready to go, or is it still in probate stages?
I just read the questions. I don't know. Okay, Monitha, you said you text contract to 313131 and it didn't work.
That may be sometimes your sales service.
It's just try that one again.
But
though, okay.
Just simply go to. I'll show you right now. Just hold on. Hold it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting to it. Where is it? Purchase and sales. So all you have to do is just go to dealulator.com and you go to, here it says agreement forms, and you select purchase and sales agreement. So there it is. And you fill it out. And once you get down here to the bottom, you answer this lovely question. Need a cash buyer for this deal? Yes or no? Put in your email address and phone number, hit generate report, and voila. Next page will allow you to download. So now you can either print it out to do whatever you want to with, or you can email it to them, or you can send it through a service like DocuSign or one of those and just let them click. And you do a click. That's
click,
it.
click, and a click, and a clack, and a
you got a contract. So that's the easiest way to get. I tried to make it as easy as possible to access this contract, which a lot of people use on a daily basis.
Okay, can you click back on Deal You Later? The deal calculator?
Yeah.
Are those numbers still there? Paris Thompson has a question. She wants to know, do you go below the blue number on the Deal You Later website?
Yeah, I recommend offering less than that amount.
Okay. How much less?
Like on this one right here.
Yeah.
But I would probably say 30,000. I would offer 30, even though it's saying 38,400. I would offer 30,000.
And then you have wiggle room up to 38.
Well, really, the price that should work for an investor is in that 48 range. So I would probably, if I got it in the contract for 30, I would probably put it back out there maybe at like 44, something like that.
Gotcha. And the investor would still be happy because
they should be, so somebody should be, that's a nice spread, because they would only be 7-8 in on 112. That leaves what, 34,000. If my math is right.
All right, taking a call from the hotline. Thank you for calling in. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Tremaine. I'm calling back in again. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Tremaine, how you get back through the line? Y'all ain't calling. Thanks for calling.
My question is, I'm going into, I want to do the commercial real estate wholesaling.
Mhm.
I came across 2 buildings that was owned by a trust. I'm not sure if you heard of Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
They're not owned by, I guess, an actual person that's under a trust. I want to know, am I able to sublease or sublease? And my next question is, how do I get to that regionals or national tenant list? Because of that, I think that's the only part that's holding me back. Should I try to get somebody to fill the business first and kind of have it as a package deal when I'm ready to go, or what steps should I take going forward right now?
Well, as far as the trust part of it, it has a mailing address, so if you can't, part of the trust is not knowing who has the trust, but it's still on someone that's receiving the mail on it because they got to pay taxes on it, if nothing else. So I would reach out to them. I would send them something FedEx or UPS so I can almost assure somebody gets their hands on it or whatever. If they want to play ball and the price works, normally in that market there, you're going to probably need, as far as pricing, in order for that to work, you're going to probably need to be under 700,000 for it, right? Per building. You said 2 of them, right? You said 2 of them, right?
Yes.
Okay, 700 per building to make the numbers work. As far as getting a national tenant list, there are a number of services out there. Now, some of them are inexpensive, and you pay for what you get, and then you got some out there like retail. It's I think it's RLT retail. Retail tenant list. That's what it's called. Retail tenant list. But they're expensive. Like you can get one state. I put like the 3 states they do it in tiers. You can probably pay as low as I think it's like maybe $800 or $900 for a year, up to like $4,000 for the entire country. So it just depends on what you want to bear. But that's not the only game. But from my experience, they have the best list because they keep theirs updated, every 3 to 6 months with, current individuals that you call to make those decisions on, placing new locations for whatever outfit they're running. So,
all right. Thank you, Tremaine. Hopefully that answered your questions, and I look forward to talking to you again.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Y'all better get on this hotline. Let Tremaine get in twice in one night. Okay, and we have Aloha from Oahu. I think I said it right, from Miss Bambridge. She's in the 808, which I think is the zip code for Hawaii, because that's what Hawaiian boy said. Don't have me out here looking crazy talking about 808 and it's like 909. Okay, but from Instagram, the house buyers wants to know what's the most effective marketing y'all are talking about in those masterminds. So my masterminds, Renikia and Ty.
I've never been a part of one for real, so I don't know.
You've never been a part of what?
A mastermind, quote unquote.
You are the mastermind.
Not what he's talking about.
Not what he's talking about.
Yeah, I've never been involved with one of those. So
what are you talking about?
They like guys. That's what I'm saying. Now I can just say this. Now I wouldn't. I guess technically it was a mastermind, but it's free. When I went to Phoenix, the numbers they were throwing around, legitimately, I know I talked to guys that I had at least a 3 to 5 minute conversation with, probably at least 10 multimillionaires. You want to call that a mastermind? I was in one then, and they was me for whatever reason. So, but
good content.
They were wanting to listen to me. So, but they out there getting it. You know what I'm saying? Their prices of their houses are more similar to Southern California, not as significant, but the hood out there is 250. You know what I'm saying? So, whereas the hood in Birmingham is 40-50. So, to give you some.
Where is this, Philly?
And Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix.
Yeah. And that's a vast area. It's about, just metro, quote unquote, Phoenix is about, according to what they're telling me, about 6 million. So, they got, man, I'm talking about just just getting it. You know, it just, oh my God. And they all like friends and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, that's the best thing. I mean, it's enough for everybody to eat. My goodness, like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's how you keep the deal. Like, no, I don't want to sell it to you. Okay, get a phone call the next day. You just didn't even know. That's my homie, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, okay.
The key is that there's a lot of great markets out there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great markets.
It's a lot of great markets out there. If it's not your backyard, find the closest market to you. Because I mean, I feel like you want to kind of be able to travel to whatever investment that you have. But there's a lot of great markets out there.
Oh yeah.
Greens Gatlin, you want to know some sellers don't like the social on the contract. How do you get around that? Just don't put it.
No, you don't put it. You must have never watched any of my videos. And I should have taken that off of there years ago, but whatever. You've never seen me put a social on there. I always do NA. I've seen people do just all fives or 1, 2, just not
XXX.
Oh, XXX or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So no, you don't even ask that question. No.
Don't worry about that part.
You're talking about a deal breaker.
Mm-hmm. What you need that for? Okay, so earlier when we were talking to, I think his name was Eric, I'm not sure about that probate deal. He did say that it was in the final stages, but on Instagram, it was a question. And again, I guess we just assumed, I know you're going to say, sometimes Google is your friend, but that's my Jess friend wants to know, what are the stages? So what are the stages of
what? The probate stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going.
Did you get it from the probate office?
I don't know. She just wanted to know what the stage is, because you asked him what stage was his deal in when he said he made the
offer. What are the stages?
I was just saying. I didn't know. I was just saying.
I mean, it has to go through a state. It has to go through the estate. It's a whole process when someone dies. You have to go through, processing the estate and before they will release any assets. So those are the stages that it has to go through before they'll be willing to release the assets.
And it's different in each state too. You know what I'm saying? So the process is different in different states, from my understanding. Now, I've never followed one through that way. Normally, what I'll try to do is, you can do this in Alabama. I don't know if you can do this everywhere, but if I can get the heirs, the people that decision makers, if I can get them all on the same page, you can do what they call an heir affidavit. And basically, each person will get 2 people that are non-related to to their parents or whoever the property owner was that left the property without a will, saying that they've known those people for X number of years, and the title company or closing attorney will take that. They're called heir affidavits, but again, you have to have everybody on the same page to do that. So, because you started to get in a situation where they had 5 kids, 2 of them dead. Each one of them had 3 kids. So now that went from 3 people that were actual siblings to 9. You know what I'm saying? Because all of them got a son, or they all got equal shares of it. So hopefully it's not that type of situation. You may want to look in to see if that's an option for you. But as far as the stages, I can't. That's outside of my.
But you want to contact the, whoever is representing that particular estate or probate, and and get us as much information as possible. But you also want to make sure you contact, get in contact with anyone who are over the state to see if they're willing to sell it as well.
All right, hotline. Call on the hotline. Thank you for calling. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, and what is your question?
Hey, Joey, thanks, sir.
Huh?
This is
you called the wrong number. Thank you for calling. Look. Oh my gosh, this is El Hodge. How did he get through the line? How do y'all keep doing this? Oh my gosh.
What is that?
Threw me for a loop for a second. I was like, oh my. Ty could have seen my face. My face was like, ooh, that stalker. Ooh, this might be. It was just a little bit, because I was like, oh, somebody calling for me.
I didn't hear it though.
I didn't hear what he said.
I did. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm good. Like God with an extra. Oh, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you. We're all good. You got any advice, questions? What you bringing to the chat tonight?
I just want to know what them shirts don't. Cause you looking extra colorful. They be looking hard.
I was gonna ask, hey, what's the skip to flip?
I didn't really want it unless it was.
Oh, don't do that. You got to get off the phone.
But no, Adrian makes the shirts. Now I may come up with the name,
Right.
but she makes the actual shirts for me. And she did it. She told me she wasn't feeling well, and she brought it on up here with her anyway. So, but Skip the Flip, Skip Tracing Service, I'm about to start promoting. The video will be out next week, so that's why I didn't say anything unless somebody asked about it or whatever. So, so there it is.
I just want to know that.
All right.
Adrian, I'll let you go. You gonna be on camera again?
Yes, at the end. I'll do my cameo.
Okay,
You stay. That means you got to stay all the way to the end. Oh, bye. Have a good night. Did he really make sure to log off by then? That's rude. That is so rude. Wow. Okay, Monifa. Look, dealyoulater.com. Go to dealyoulater.com.
Oh, she's still having trouble with the contract thing?
Yeah, we just did it on the screen. And she appreciated that I said her name correctly. Okay. But yeah, go to dealyoulater.com and it's right at the top. Go to agreement. What did it say?
Yeah, I'll show her right now.
Okay, it's on the screen. Look on. Yeah, she's from YouTube, so she can see the screen. And now.
Yeah, so you should be able to see it. So you just fill it out. If you want me to fill it out, I will. So the day is the 27th of February, and the 20th. What's her name?
Monifa.
Okay, so look, man, use my name, whatever. You know.
Oh, that's the social they were talking about.
Yeah, the social. So just put your name right there. I don't know how you spell Monifa.
Monifa. Monifa, you are the girl
F-A. Okay, we'll say buyer, Monifa buyer. And we'll say 123 Main Street. I can type here. Birmingham, Alabama. We'll do 35. We'll do West End. And legal description, NA, county, Jefferson, already in there. Property sold as is. Earnest money deposit, we'll say $100. We'll say 89,000. So the price 89,000. So that'll be 88,900. And then existing loans and liens, no. On the next one, then the price we said was 89,000. Boom. And these two should match up. Cash to sell at closing, the balance due to sell at closing. Those should always match up. 88,900. Say full payment. Some people like to put cashier's check or bank wire in that place. So we're gonna close. We'll say 30 days from now. So we'll just say March 28th. So we'll just do 03. You can do that however you want. 03/28. Put the year in place. You don't know, so you put TBD. Want your inspection period? We'll just say 14 days.
Yo,
and boom. So say need a cash buyer. Yes. We'll put my email address. All y'all know it. Ty at Day Later. That's one of my marketing numbers. We'll let that roll. And then so boom, you generate the report. See this beautiful video here. Try to still sell you something. And then you hit download. So now it's download. So boom, I hope y'all can see that. Then open it up. Did it show it? Nope. Okay, so let me share that screen. Let me share that. Hold on. Go back. Where is it? This it? Yeah, that's it. So boom, there it is.
And then you can print that out.
So now you can download it. If I'm on Google Chrome, so I can download right here if I want to and save it. or I can, and once I save it, I save it to my desktop or my documents or wherever you want to save it, whatever folder, and you can email it and whatever, you know what I'm saying? So print it out and boom, there you go. I try my best.
There you go. Dealulator.com. The contract, plug and chug.
Contract made simple.
Download it, print it. It's there.
Yeah.
And the closing detail sheet, signs of peace is closing doc.
Yeah, freeclosingdoc.com.
Free closing doc is in DOC.
Oh, I'll show you.
It's on the screen too.
Okay.
Yes, Bila, this video is going to stay up on YouTube. All the videos, all of our lives, they're available after we're done almost immediately. And the young gentleman last week that took Ty's videos, which is 400 plus, and put them in a somewhat
chronological order. Make sense order, I guess you would say. Yeah, so this is freeclosingdoc.com. So you got the old Flipman logo up there. So all you do is put in the information. And it'll take you over to where you need to go. Boom. So
all right. Stephanie says thank you. DW says just printed it out yesterday. Science of Peace. I hope you and Monifa were watching. Now Shashko wants to know, how do you talk to foreclosures if you say you're an investor and want to buy? Then it sounds
before we go any further here, I can't even believe I said this. Now you got deals, need a cash buyer for it. Dealulator.com, hit the send deals button. That's going to change here in hopefully a day my web guy can get it going, where I'm going to have a little bit more instructions, because I appreciate everyone that submitted something over. It's really been a little bit overwhelming, but the main three things that you need to know is they need to be off market. And my definition of off market is, if I Google the address, it is not for sale anywhere online. That's simple.
Not even Zillow.
Not even Zillow. Definitely not Zillow. That's like a whole nother internet by itself. Definitely not Zillow. All right.
You put it on MLS.
Please know what a great deal is. That's why I put that calculator on dealulator.com, so you can plug in the numbers and say deal or no deal before you even get that far, right? The next thing is, please be dealing directly with the owner. It is okay if you're going to JV with someone that has it under contract, but make sure you know who you're dealing with. Those are the primary three rules there. So it's going to change a little bit as far as the cities that we're going to actually identify, the cities that we want to send over, but you're going to send them over from anywhere. I'm just letting you know some cities are going to be more priority than others. Not saying don't send them. I'm just letting you know, but I have a video to explain all of that. So send them through dealulator.com. Just go up and hit the send deals button once you get to the site, and let's get this money.
All right, let's answer this. Sasholo has been pretty consistent in asking it, and I've lost it. Oh, she's gonna kill me. Okay, how do you talk to foreclosures? If you say you're an investor and want to buy, then it sounds like you want to steal the house. You say you want to try to help them, then they ask why you decide to call me. Why are you trying to help me? So we talked about it a little earlier, Shashko, about the door knocking method was a good way to target investors, and I'm not targeting investors, but target pre-foreclosures. But how does that conversation go? Just give me an example. You got me on the phone. You pull me from your probate list. Are you gonna tell me that you know I'm in foreclosure? What's that conversation?
Well, that's not my thing. So I'm really, I'm gonna be a little green on it, cause most of the people that are pre-foreclosure with me, they called me. So that's a different conversation. You see what I'm saying?
Well, dang.
So that's a different conversation.
Okay, Renikia, I'm deflecting over you. What's the conversation?
I mean, if I would call a pre-foreclosure, I'll first let them know who I am. Let them know that their information is there, and it seems that your property is in foreclosure. And I'm a seasoned investor, and I want to come in and either help you purchase. Not help you, but I want to come in and purchase your property. Or I really don't know. It's you gotta put me on. Let me think about this. Let me think about how I want to say this.
But that's exactly why that method that they were talking about earlier, because this is what you would get going to their door knocking. Like You know what, man? I'm just supposed to ask you if you want to sell your house. You want to talk to my boss? You want to talk to him instead?
Think about that.
It's my first day on the job. You try to make them feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have to answer.
That's a good one.
But that's exactly what you would get, and I can see why that would work.
It's just going to be case by case. Like I said, I know, it's just out of the scale of what I'm that's not built that way.
Okay.
Now they call me totally different ball game or whatever. Now I can probably tell somebody what to do and not execute it myself, but taking out the approach that I already told you to do. Now, first thing you got to do, if you are going to talk to them, let them know, hey, you want to come to them. You don't want to let them know you're there because they behind in payments and all that stuff. I don't think you should come at them that way or whatever.
Right.
What do you think?
No, I agree. That's not the approach either.
Yeah, I'm saying we are buying houses in the area.
I'm gonna let them
right.
know.
Buy houses in the area.
Yeah, we're buying houses in the area. Now, I'm assuming it's just a cold call or a door knock or whatever. We're buying houses in the area, right?
Right.
And my company we work for you say if you're not going with the my company thing, it's you or whatever. I'm buying houses in the area, and we're really desperate to buy 2 more that, like we bought blah, blah, blah on other streets and so on. Would you be interested in selling this property? We'll give you a good deal. We pay all cash. We close in 2 to 4 weeks. We buy as is. We take care of all closing costs. If that's something you'll be interested in, hopefully that'll just open up a conversation and you say, oh man, wow, your timing is great or whatever, because I'm about to lose this damn house.
Right. I like that approach.
Yeah.
Don't even mention the foreclosure.
Yeah, don't even mention it, Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're rounding out our hour plus. Sorry, we did start a little late today, but we will be here next Thursday. I know a lot of y'all,
What's next Thursday? We wouldn't be.
Ain't nothing happening next
Thursday.
It does go into the start spring break. Is that next week or the week after? That's the week after, like the 12th or whatever. But anyway, I know a lot of y'all got some coins dropping. Like the feds are dropping coins on your head, like ting, 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 ting. And before you step in the next foot store, house store, blinds, because you're upgrading your PC. Well, that actually might be a good thing. Think about how you can use those funds to reinvest or to invest in yourself. It doesn't take a lot to start this wholesaling career.
Yeah, every week will be like tax return season.
Yeah,
imagine that.
Yeah. Every
let the gates of heaven open up.
Imagine that.
What? Yes, Shosh, go. I would most definitely say, are you interested in selling? That would be something, verbiage that you can add to the script that you're using.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, we'll be here next week. Renikia is available all across social media platforms. It's right there on your screen. You can go to fundmynextdeal.com or on Facebook, it's Renikia Williams, Instagram, Renique, or email at funding@fkfinancials.com. Again, that's funding@fkfinancials.com. Ty posts content all week long, so make sure you're subscribed to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
I just posted this video titled here today or whatever. It's really just an update of G-Late, aka Prop Stream or whatever. But at the end of the video, he sort of mistakenly did it, and I didn't even ever thought about it. But how you can basically go back and look at cash buyers that used agents to move their properties, and you can reach out to those agents to see if they really want to partner. They want to do some business. Their client want to do some business, which will be a benefit to the agent. So at least that's the way you need to go about it, because that's
sounds like you're creating that buyers list that you're gonna need.
Well, it's just another layer of the buyers list, because a lot of times they're in LLCs or trust or whatever. And this gives you an opportunity, because that client knows that agent knows which client that is from that property that they listed for them that was a cash purchase and they put back on the market 3 to 6 months later. You know what I'm saying? So you might want to check that video out. You can see the title here. The most recent video I posted was today.
All right.
Besides this one.
You wait till the end to do all that talking. Renikia, you got any jewels for the people?
It's just time to build generational wealth. That's all I'm saying.
That's right. Use those coins to build more coins, to bank more coins, to get more coins. Use your credit wisely. Use them tax dollars y'all getting wisely too. Ty?
Oh, that's it. Let's hit it.
All right. We'll see you on the flip side.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
All right.